Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Ching as a moderator for this discussion. Today, we gather to engage in a formal discourse on a topic of profound significance, a teacher's role in facilitating effective classroom discussion activities. I am very sure that every one of us has your own opinion on this topic. First, I would like to introduce our friends. Our friend is Lok Win Yi and Fong Siang. How are you today, Lok and Fong?
Thank you for your question. I'm fine today. I'm grateful that I was given the chance to join in the discussion today.
Hello everyone, I am glad to be here today. Thanks for asking. I am doing very well.
Before we start our discussion in detail, let us explain about this topic. As well we know, teachers are best known for the role of educating the students that are placed in their care. Teachers set the tone of their classrooms, build a warm environment, mentor and nurture students, become role models, listen and look for signs of trouble. Thus, what is the definition of a teacher, Fong?
A teacher, a so-called a school teacher or family and education, is a person who helps students to acquire knowledge, competence, or virtue via the practice of teaching. Other than that, teachers play vital role in the life of the student in the classroom.
Well, let's dive right into our discussion. Lok, could you please start by sharing your thoughts on the importance of classroom discussions?
First and foremost, I would like to thank you for inviting me in this discussion. Classroom discussions are essential because they encourage active learning. They provide opportunities for students to practice their communication skills. Besides, they allow students to express their opinions and ideas freely. Students who participate in this type of activities gain confidence in expressing themselves and learn how to work together. Also, discussion create an environment where students take ownership of their learning.
Well said, Lok. Hence, the teacher must find ways to attract students' attention, to work together to achieve effective classroom management. Without wasting time, Lok and Fong, what do you think are the key responsibilities of a teacher in facilitating these discussions effectively?
Thank you for the question, moderator. The first thing that came across my head about teacher role in facilitating an effective classroom discussion activities is that the teacher must create a safe and inclusive environment. It is crucial for the teacher to establish a classroom atmosphere where students feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and opinions. This includes promoting respect, active listening, and empathy among students. For example, at the beginning of term, teacher can use an icebreaker activity or give students an opportunity to meet each other by dividing themselves into groups of 3 to 5 and introduce themselves and describe their interests as well as backgrounds so they can get to know each other.
I agree with you, Lok. In my opinion, as the facilitator, teachers should also learn all of your student name by learning and using your student names. So you can create a comfortable classroom environment that will encourage student interaction. Knowing your student name also tell them that you are interested in them as individuals. Furthermore, teachers may go around the classroom and ask all students to respond to one question, such as their goal, dreams, or the subject seem more appealing to them.
May I interrupt?
Yes, go on.
Not only that, teachers must encourage students to actively support each other. helping them connect with at one or two other students in the class, whom they can contact about missed classes, homework, assignments, study groups, and so on. Teachers might also use the learning management system to create an online discussion forum where students can respond to each other's queries.
Great idea, Pang. Next, a role that a teacher can play to improve classroom discussion activity is the teacher must set a clear objective for the classroom discussion. Teachers should begin by outlining the goal and objective of the discussion, clearly defining what students should achieve during the discussion help keep it focused and purposeful.
Well, that's a great idea, Fong. How about you, Lok? Do you agree with her point?
Yes, that's just what I was thinking. Classroom discussion can sometimes ebb and flow in surprising ways, but it's important to keep students focused on the original topic. Effective facilitation involves keeping the discussion focused on the designated topic and make sure discussion questions are clear and visible. Acknowledge of topic responses and try to link them back to the original topic.
Can I tell you my experience? When I was in high school, before every class, my teacher would write down the topic of the day on the whiteboard to promote the sense that it is going somewhere and to keep it on track.
That is really great. To sum up, although the ideal discussion is spontaneous and unpredictable, you will want to do some careful planning. You should have a clear objective for the discussion, a plan for how you will prepare the students, and a general idea about how you will guide the discussion, such as activities, videos, questions, and have groups answer by the end of class. Well, let's move to Log. Do you have any other point?
Yes, I sure do. From my point of view, one of the roles that a teacher can play to facilitate effective classroom discussion activities is that the teacher can prepare in advance for the discussion. For instance, a teacher can distribute a list of questions for each discussion, ask students to bring in their own question, suggest key concepts or terms for them to focus on, or ask them to collect evidence that clarifies or refutes a particular concept or problem. Discussion will be more satisfying for the student.
I have a question. What students can do when they can't find the right answer?
I think our friend Fong can explain more about that. Are you okay with it, Fong?
Yes, I am definitely fine with that. Depending on the topic, I think that the teacher can supply relevant resources, article or material to enrich the discussion and ensure students have access to current information. After that, the student can identify and make a list of key points from the reading and use that as a starting point for the discussion.
No doubt about it.
Thank you, Lok and Fong. From my perspective, students can refer to the questions, starting the discussion by group members which of the questions they found most challenging. Then, teachers may give them some key points about it to answer the questions with more confidence. How about you, Fong? Do you have any other ideas to make sure teacher and student achieve effective discussion activities in the classroom?
In my view, I think that teacher can ask students some thoughtful questions. Teachers should craft thought-provoking questions that stimulate critical thinking and encourage deeper exploration of the topic. Open-end questions often work well to foster discussion. To give an example, teacher may pose an opening question and student must record an answer. The process of writing down the answer will enable students to generate new ideas as well as questions. After they have finished writing, ask for a volunteer or count on a student from each group to share their idea. This activity also gives quieter students the opportunity to prepare answers they can share with the group.
May I add something?
Yes, of course.
I personally think the teacher can assign thoughtful questions and give the group a time limit to complete the exercise. This can stimulate their thinking skill and time management skill. In other ways, teacher can often personally approach the student and clearing up the question. One question might lead to another, and that will further help in clearing the concept such as, can give you an example about this topic? Can you elaborate further? Can you explain this in a simple manner?
Thank you, Lok and Fong. From my point of view, teachers also can keep the background noise to a minimum. In order for a discussion to be effective, students need to understand the value of actively listening to their peers, tolerating opposing viewpoints, and being open-minded. They also need to recognize the importance of staying focused and expressing themselves clearly. Teachers might spend the first session with the students by exploring the characteristics of effective and ineffective discussion.
You, as exemplified by teacher, might establish ground rules for participation in a discussion to prevent the discussion from deteriorating into a heated argument. Reminding students of the ground rules for discussion, which are they need to practice active listening, remain open mind, and focus on ideas and content rather than on people and personal issue. Diffusing agreement with a calm remark and bring the discussion back on track.
From my experience, I had been in a class that was very noisy and surely I could not focus well on my study at that time. I feel so bad because it impacted my exam result. Since then, I asked my teacher to move to the other class and I am grateful everything went well after that.
May I ask you a question? What should the students do to make the other students listen to their opinion?
In my opinion, the teacher should tell students that if they want others to listen to their opinions, students should also listen to other opinions. Students must listen to each other, grapple with issues, think through problems, and share viewpoints. One person speaking at a time is essential if our students are expected to listen.
Thank you for your explanation, Fong. Anyone else want to add your thoughts?
May I mention another teacher role to facilitate an effective classroom discussion?
Yes, go on.
As far as I'm concerned, a teacher must be flexible. The principle of flexibility in teaching is an important concept that centers have been incorporating into their educational project. This principle encourages teachers to be open to different approaches to teaching, to be willing to modify their procedures based on the needs of their students, and to be creative in their approach. In addition, it means being open to trying new teaching methods, such as technology-based tools or different types of assessment to ensure that students are engaged and learning.
Yes, I agree with you. Teachers play an important role in the education of students. and it is essential that they adapt to the changing needs to their students. Adaptability is key. Teachers should be ready to adjust the discussion based on its flow and student needs. Sometimes the most productivity discussion can arise from expected tasks.
Let me give an example. There are bound to be some quiet students in every class. Ensuring that all students have the opportunity to participate is essential. Teachers should be attentive to quieter students and use strategies like random selection or turn taking to involve everyone. In fact, when teachers are intentional about building authentic relationships with students, not only does it foster in students a sense of belonging and connection to the school, but also let students feel seen, valued, respected, and loved in an inclusive environment. They will rise to the high expectations that you have set for them. Teachers may build the relationship with them by identifying their interests, asking them to determine their own goals, and knowing them as well as their needs.
Additionally, teachers should limit their own environment, avoiding that temptation to talk too much and respond to every student contribution. After you ask student a question, code to and let's find in your head before answering it yourself. When you ask student a question, if you really want them to think and be able to give an answer, be willing to wait for it, trying to encourage students to develop their own idea and respond to one another.
I agree with your statement. Teachers should model active listening skills, showing students how to engage with other ideas constructively. Providing feedback on the quality of contribution can guide students toward deeper analysis. Active listening is accurately comprehending messages, remembering them, and responding appropriately to, to illustrate. Teacher can use good eye contact to let the student know you're focused on their message. Not only that, nodding and facial expressions also indicate your attention.
Beyond that, teachers may let the students speak and try to not interrupt, avoiding being distracted and looking around. As a result, effective conversations with students can help identify strengths and interests of students and can be utilized to structure lessons to motivate, inspire, and challenge them to do better.
Apart from that, teacher role in facilitating an effective classroom discussion is that teacher must be patient to teach each student. It is due to the reason that each student has his or her own shortcomings. For example, some students are not so outstanding in communication, and some students have limited understanding ability.
I think you are totally right. Everyone has strength and weakness. If students are having trouble communicating, avoid making remarks such as slow down, take a break, or relax. This will not be helpful and may be interpreted as demanding. Avoid finishing the student's sentences or grazing what is being said. This can increase their feeling of self-consciousness.
That is a good idea. May I know that why is patience is important in teaching?
I personally think that in a classroom, there are students from different backgrounds, cultures, language, religions, and ethnicities. Not all students will think in a particular manner or fashion. It is the duty of the teacher to understand each student and cater to the needs of each student individually.
From my view, students are very impressionable and influenced by events and occurrences around them. If a teacher slow practice, students will learn and withdraw and try to emulate this quality from the teacher.
Great, that's a good idea. Furthermore, teachers must stay positive when students do something wrong or mistakes. The most important thing that one to remember when giving out correction is to keep words and attitude positive to let students gain from the correction and learn from it. Being negative may only serve to bring down the student's self-esteem and give him a feeling of hopelessness. Teachers may always encourage the students to keep trying and don't give up easily.
I see eye to eye with you. When I was when I was in high school, my science teacher, Madania, was very good to us. She would patiently advise us when we made mistakes and never get angry. So we all loved it when studying in her class.
Wow, I have a same experience with you. Hence, I think that it's important that the teacher know the student and their personalities as best as you can. The way in which you deliver correction will probably need to the different for different students. Some students are more sensitive than others. Students who really try to make an effort will take correction to heart.
Moreover, teacher must keep in mind that correcting a student's work of behavior is not correcting the student. It is crucial that the student understand you are correcting his work, not who he is. Let the student know that you still like him and he is a good student, but that you see a way he can improve on his work in the future.
That is a good interpretation, Lok and Fong. To conclude, as a teacher, is to give the students the kind of feedback that will help them learn and grow, encourages them to continue trying, and certainly not to hurt their feelings. Well, Fong, do you have any opinion to wrap up our conversation about teachers' role in facilitating an effective classroom discussion?
Yes, I have. From my point of view, teacher must bring class to the discussion. The teacher can announce that the discussion is ending and ask each of the group if there are any final comment or question before the teacher pull the idea together. The closing remark should show the student how the discussion progressed, emphasizing two to three key points and tie the idea into the overall theme of the discussion. Also be sure to acknowledge the skillful comments students have made. Overall, it may be said that providing close to the discussion is critical for ensuring the group members leave feeling satisfied that they accomplished something.
To summarize, I have realized that teachers have a lot of roles to improve the effectiveness of the classroom discussion activities. Do you all agree?
Yes, I do agree with you. Our sharing today has opened my mind and I now more understand the roles of teacher in classroom.
I for sure already changed my perspective toward teacher roles in facilitating an effective classroom discussion. Before this, I just told the teacher just acted as a spectator for the student discussion without helping them.
Well, I think that this is all from us today. Thank you both for your valuable insights. Now we all know that there are a lot of ways that can be used to achieve an effective classroom discussion. Thank you, all of you.